Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather not just to talk about numbers, but to confront a truth that's been echoing for far too long. Why are women still paid less in 2025? It's a question that demands our attention, our honesty, and our action. Today, we confront a truth that remains uncomfortably persistent. Why are women still paid less in 2025? Despite the progress made over decades, the wage gap still exists, quietly undermining the fairness and equality that many of us believe in. This isn't just about dollars and cents, it's about dignity, respect, and justice. It's about acknowledging that women's contributions are valuable and should be compensated equally. The roots of this disparity run deep in history. For centuries, societal norms and cultural expectations dictated women's roles and worth. These norms created a system where women's labor was undervalued, their ambitions limited, and their voices often ignored. While much has changed, these ingrained beliefs continue to influence workplaces and policies today. Biases, both conscious and unconscious, still shape hiring decisions, promotions, and pay structures. Often women are overlooked for leadership roles. It's not because of their capability, but because of outdated stereotypes about gender and worth. Legislation has attempted to bridge this gap with equal pay laws and anti-discrimination policies. Yet enforcement remains inconsistent, and loopholes allow disparities to persist. Sometimes policies are well-intentioned but lack the teeth to bring about real change. At other times, cultural resistance and societal inertia slow down progress. It's not enough to have laws in place. We need a cultural shift that values women's work equally and recognizes their rightful place at every level of decision-making. Cultural and social norms also play a significant role. Stereotypes about women's roles, whether as primary caregivers or less ambitious employees, still influence perceptions and opportunities. These deeply rooted beliefs can discourage women from pursuing certain careers or negotiating for higher pay. They create an environment where women are often paid less for doing the same work as their male counterparts. This systemic undervaluing of women's labor is an injustice that we must actively challenge. Awareness and education are powerful tools in this fight. When women understand their worth and are empowered to demand fair compensation, they become catalysts for change. Allies, men and women, must also recognize their role in dismantling these barriers. Representation matters. When women are in leadership positions, they advocate for fair practices, influence policy, and inspire others to believe that equitable pay is not just a dream, but an achievable reality. The journey toward equality is ongoing, but every step forward counts. We must continue to question, challenge, and dismantle the structures that perpetuate inequality. Only then can we truly say that we have moved beyond the disparities of the past and built a future where every woman is valued equally for her work and her worth. Today, we face a reality that is both startling and unacceptable in 2025. Women are still earning less than men across the globe. Despite countless efforts, campaigns, and legislative measures, this gap remains stubbornly persistent. It's a reflection of deeper societal issues that have yet to be fully addressed. The disparity isn't solely about individual choices or qualifications. It's embedded within the very fabric of our systems and culture. When women work just as hard, bring the same skills, and contribute equally, they should be compensated equally. Yet, the truth is the value of women's labor continues to be undervalued. Often silently and systematically, this ongoing disparity stems from long-standing stereotypes and biases that have been ingrained in society for generations. Cultural norms have historically dictated what roles women should occupy and how much they should earn. These outdated beliefs influence decision-making at every level, from hiring managers to policymakers. Unconscious biases often lead to women being overlooked for promotions, leadership roles, or high-paying opportunities simply because of their gender. Even in workplaces where equal pay policies are in place, the subtle biases and stereotypes can influence perceptions and behaviors that perpetuate inequality. Legislation alone cannot eliminate these deeply rooted issues. While laws have been enacted to promote equal pay, enforcement remains inconsistent, and loopholes are exploited. Often, companies may pay lip service to equality but fall short in practice. Cultural resistance and societal inertia make change slow. It's not enough to have laws on paper. We need a cultural revolution that values women's work, voices, and leadership equally. Education plays a crucial role here. By raising awareness about gender biases and promoting inclusive attitudes, we can begin to shift perceptions that have been reinforced over centuries. Representation is another vital piece of the puzzle. When women occupy positions of influence and leadership, they serve as powerful role models, challenging stereotypes and opening doors for others. Their presence in decision-making spaces helps create a more equitable environment where pay and opportunities are based on merit, not gender. It's essential for both men and women to recognize their role in this ongoing fight for equality. By challenging biases, supporting policies that promote fairness, and actively advocating for women's rights, we can accelerate progress. The journey toward closing the gender pay gap is far from over, but every step forward brings us closer to a world where fairness and justice prevail. We must remain committed, persistent, and willing to confront uncomfortable truths. Only then can we truly move beyond the disparities of the past and build a future where every woman's worth is recognized and rewarded equally. Despite the advancements in gender equality over the past century, women still face significant challenges when it comes to fair compensation. In 2025, the gender pay gap persists across many industries and regions, highlighting the deep-rooted inequalities that remain unaddressed. Women often earn less than their male counterparts for doing the same work, a disparity that is unjust and detrimental to society as a whole. This wage inequality not only affects women's financial independence, but also perpetuates broader social disparities, limiting opportunities and reinforcing stereotypes about gender roles. One of the core issues fueling this persistent gap is the presence of unconscious biases that influence decision-making in workplaces. Many employers and managers often unknowingly undervalue women's contributions or assume they are less committed, especially if they have caregiving responsibilities or take maternity leave. These biases shape hiring practices, promotions, and salary negotiations, creating a cycle where women are consistently paid less and less likely to reach leadership positions. Additionally, occupational segregation plays a role, as women are often concentrated in lower-paying industries or roles, which further widens the earnings gap. Legislation aimed at closing the pay gap has made some impact, but enforcement remains inconsistent and loopholes often undermine efforts for true equality. Companies may comply superficially with equal pay laws while maintaining practices that subtly favor male employees. Cultural attitudes and societal expectations also hinder progress. Stereotypes about gender roles persist, with women expected to prioritize family over career or to choose appropriate fields, which discourages them from pursuing higher-paying, traditionally male-dominated professions. These ingrained beliefs influence not only individual choices, but also organizational policies and societal norms. Making change slow and complex, education and awareness are crucial in transforming these deep-seated perceptions. When women are empowered with knowledge about their rights and value, they are more likely to negotiate fair salaries and seek leadership roles. Equally important are allies, men and women who advocate for gender equity and challenge discriminatory practices. Representation matters profoundly. Seeing women in senior, influential positions helps dismantle stereotypes and demonstrates that women can excel in any field. Promoting mentorship programs and fostering inclusive work environments can facilitate this shift. Closing the gender wage gap requires a concerted effort from individuals, organizations, and governments. It demands challenging societal norms, reforming policies, and cultivating an environment where gender does not determine earning potential. Progress may be gradual, but each step forward is vital in moving toward a fairer, more equitable future. Justice in pay is not just an economic issue. It's a fundamental matter of human dignity and equality that benefits us all. Gender inequality in pay remains a significant issue in 2025. Despite decades of progress and numerous initiatives aimed at closing the gap, women continue to earn less than men in nearly every country, industry, and professional level. This disparity is not just a matter of individual choices, but is embedded in systemic structures that favor men over women. The cumulative effect of this ongoing inequality is profound, impacting women's financial security, career advancement, and overall empowerment. When women are paid less for the same work, it sends a message that their contributions are less valuable, reinforcing harmful stereotypes that persist across society. A major contributor to the gender pay gap is the prevalence of unconscious biases. Many employers and decision makers often unknowingly harbor stereotypes that influence their perceptions of women's capabilities and commitment. These biases can manifest in hiring practices, performance evaluations, and promotion decisions, often disadvantaging women from the start. For example, women are less likely to be considered for high-paying leadership roles or specialized positions, which perpetuates the cycle of inequality. Additionally, societal expectations around gender roles and caregiving responsibilities often limit women's career choices or lead to career interruptions, further affecting their earning potential. Legislative measures have played a role in addressing pay inequality, but enforcement and compliance remain inconsistent. Many companies pay lip service to equal pay policies without genuinely committing to change, often due to entrenched cultural norms and resistance within organizational hierarchies, even in countries with strong legal frameworks. Disparities persist because of loopholes, lack of transparency, and inadequate monitoring. Societal attitudes also play a role. Stereotypes about women's roles in the family and workplace continue to influence perceptions about their worth and the types of jobs deemed appropriate for them. These cultural barriers are difficult to dismantle because they are deeply ingrained in social consciousness and tradition. Education and awareness are vital in the ongoing fight for gender equality in pay. When women are informed of their rights and understand their value, they are better equipped to negotiate fair salaries and pursue leadership opportunities. Allies, both men and women, must actively challenge stereotypes and advocate for fair treatment. Representation also counts. Seeing women succeed in leadership roles can inspire others and help break down stereotypes about what women can achieve. Promoting mentorship programs and creating inclusive, supportive work environments can foster the growth of female talent and help close the wage gap over time. Resolving this issue requires a collective effort that spans policy changes, cultural shifts, and individual actions. Governments need to enforce existing laws more effectively and promote transparency around pay practices. Employers must prioritize fairness and inclusivity, actively working to eliminate biases and support women's career development. Society as a whole must challenge outdated stereotypes and value women's contributions equally. While progress has been made, the journey toward true pay equity is ongoing, and sustained commitment is essential to achieving lasting change. Gender inequality in the workplace remains a persistent issue in 2025, with women still earning significantly less than men across many industries worldwide. Despite laws and policies aimed at promoting equality, the wage gap endures, exposing the deep-rooted biases and structural barriers that continue to disadvantage women. This wage disparity has far-reaching consequences, affecting women's financial independence, career growth, and overall quality of life. When women are paid less for comparable work, it not only reinforces harmful stereotypes, but also limits their opportunities to reach leadership roles and achieve economic stability. A key factor underlying this inequality is the influence of unconscious biases that shape perceptions about gender roles. Many hiring managers and decision makers often unknowingly associate leadership qualities or technical competence more often with men. These biases influence recruitment, promotions, and salary negotiations, often resulting in women being overlooked for high-paying positions. Additionally, societal expectations that women should prioritize family and caregiving responsibilities often lead them to take career breaks or accept lower-paying roles. Further exacerbating the wage gap, legislation has made some strides toward addressing pay disparities, but enforcement remains inconsistent and often superficial. Companies may publicly commit to equal pay but fail to implement transparent salary structures or hold themselves accountable for disparities. Loopholes, lack of transparency, and inadequate penalties for non-compliance hinder progress. Cultural attitudes also play a significant role. Stereotypes about women's roles in the home and workplace continue to influence perceptions of their value and career potential. These ingrained beliefs are difficult to change because they are woven into societal norms and traditions, perpetuating inequality even in the face of legal reforms. Raising awareness and promoting education about gender biases are crucial steps toward change. When women are informed of their rights and understand their worth, they are more empowered to negotiate fair compensation and seek leadership opportunities. Allies, men and women committed to gender equality, must challenge stereotypes and advocate for fair treatment. Representation is equally important. Seeing women succeed in executive roles helps to dismantle stereotypes and inspires future generations. Mentoring programs and inclusive work environments can foster confidence and growth among women, helping to close the gap gradually. Achieving pay equity requires a comprehensive approach involving policy reforms, cultural shifts, and individual actions. Governments need to strengthen enforcement of equal pay laws, while organizations must prioritize transparency and fairness in compensation practices. Society must continue to challenge stereotypes and value diversity and inclusion. Progress has been made. The fight for true gender pay equality is ongoing, demanding persistent effort and collective commitment from all sectors. Only through sustained action can we hope to create a future where gender no longer determines earning potential. Gender inequality in earnings remains a significant challenge in 2025, despite ongoing efforts to promote equality. Women continue to earn less than men in nearly every sector and region, often facing barriers that hinder their career advancement. This persistent gap is rooted in a combination of societal norms, workplace practices, and structural biases that favor men over women. The disparity in pay not only affects women's financial stability, but also reinforces stereotypes about gender roles and capabilities, perpetuating a cycle that is difficult to break. One of the main issues contributing to the wage gap is unconscious bias. Many decision makers, without realizing it, hold stereotypes that influence their perceptions of women's skills, dedication, and leadership potential. These biases can influence hiring, promotion, and salary decisions, often leading to women being underrepresented in high-paying roles. Additionally, societal expectations around caregiving and family responsibilities often lead women to take career breaks or accept lower-paying jobs to balance work and home life, further widening the pay disparity. Laws designed to promote equal pay have made some progress, but enforcement remains inconsistent and often superficial. Companies may publicly commit to fairness, but lack transparency in their pay structures or fail to address existing disparities effectively. Loopholes, lack of accountability, and cultural resistance hinder the progress of closing the pay gap. Moreover, stereotypes about women's roles at home and in the workplace still influence perceptions of their worth, making it harder to implement meaningful change at the organizational and societal levels. Raising awareness about gender bias and promoting education on the importance of pay equity are essential strategies. When women are informed about their rights and understand their value, they are more empowered to negotiate salaries and pursue leadership roles. Allies, both men and women, must actively challenge stereotypes and advocate for fairness. Increasing female representation in leadership positions can also inspire change, as visible role models demonstrate that women can succeed at the highest levels of business and government. Creating inclusive work environments and fostering mentorship programs are vital to supporting women's career growth. These initiatives help build confidence and provide pathways for women to ascend into senior roles. Ultimately, addressing gender inequality in pay requires a combined effort of policy reform, cultural change, and individual advocacy. Society must continue to challenge stereotypes and promote gender equality actively. While progress has been made, the journey toward true pay equity demands ongoing commitment and collective action from all sectors. Only through sustained effort can we hope to achieve a future where gender no longer determines earning potential. Gender inequality in the workplace remains a pressing issue in 2025, with women still earning less than their male counterparts across many industries worldwide. Despite significant progress in some areas, the wage gap persists due to deep-seated societal norms, cultural biases, and organizational practices that favor men. This disparity impacts women's economic independence, career growth, and overall quality of life, creating a cycle that is difficult to break. When women are paid less for similar work, it reinforces stereotypes about gender roles and perpetuates inequality on multiple levels. A major contributing factor is unconscious bias. Many decision makers, without realizing it, associate leadership qualities and technical skills more strongly with men than women. These biases influence hiring decisions, promotions, and salary negotiations, often resulting in women being overlooked for higher paying roles. Additionally, societal expectations around caregiving and domestic responsibilities tend to place a disproportionate burden on women, prompting many to take career breaks or accept lower-paying positions to manage family obligations. These choices can have long-term effects on their earning potential and career trajectory. Legal frameworks aimed at promoting pay equality have seen some success, but enforcement remains inconsistent. Many organizations pay lip service to the idea of equal pay, but lack transparency in their compensation structures. Without clear standards and accountability, disparities often go unaddressed. Cultural attitudes also play a significant role, as stereotypes about women's roles in the family and workplace continue to influence perceptions of their value and capacity. Challenging these ingrained beliefs requires ongoing societal effort, as they are deeply rooted in tradition and social norms. Raising awareness and education about gender bias are critical steps toward change. When women are aware of their rights and understand their worth, they are more likely to negotiate for fair wages and pursue leadership roles. Allies, men and women committed to gender equality, must actively challenge stereotypes and advocate for equitable treatment. Representation matters. Seeing women succeed in executive positions helps to break down stereotypes and inspires future generations to aim higher. Creating inclusive work environments and mentorship programs can support women's career advancement. These initiatives foster confidence and provide the necessary resources for women to break through barriers. Ultimately, achieving pay equity demands a comprehensive approach involving policy reforms, cultural shifts, and individual actions. Society must continue to challenge stereotypes, promote diversity, and hold organizations accountable. While progress has been made, the fight for true gender pay equality is ongoing, requiring persistent effort and collective commitment from all sectors to ensure that gender no longer determines earning potential.